Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and today we'll be playing Sonic Mania again. We're going to be continuing from last time. Last time we had done the first two zones and today we're going to be continuing into Studiopolis Zone and let's get into it. Studiopolis Zone. So this is one of my absolute favourite zones in the game. Also, just happens to be one of the new ones, but yeah, it's just brilliant. The size of this level, it's just huge, and just about everything here that isn't making up a giant metropolis is essentially one big studio reference after another. So. I'll be sure to call them out when we get to them, but such a clever idea for a stage. So we have the graffiti bots, the paparazzi bots there. They will take a picture of Sonic, then sort of stop, and then keep going and take another picture. So they could be a bit annoying. And these snail things, they spew out little film reels that will injure the player, so you want to avoid them. And then here we have a nice little conveyor belt, which it's going to be very cool. It's essentially a giant film reel with a picture showing just to the left there. If we just go over there, yes, there's a Dr. Eggman, sort of in the style of ye old Mickey Mouse. Oh, and of course we have a Sega Sonic popcorn machine, which is just a very, very funny little gimmick there, where we get to burst up with all the popcorn. And yeah, it's just altogether a really well-crafted level. And you can also break the glass in this stage. Just all the things are really good. So I have to be a bit faster than what I'm going, which is admittedly not very fast for a Sonic game. But we have another life, so that's very good. Dr. Eggman in his directorial chair, very, very, very spiffy, and those hanging microphone bots, just a very, very cleverly designed. But anyway, so we're just gonna pop right in. We're gonna pop right into the satellite van, just broadcasting Sonic all across the level to this to another conveyor belt. I'm gonna have to avoid that robot there. But it's all good. We managed to avoid our fate, and I believe that there is a sneaky little secret up there, another giant ring, so we can go into the next bonus stage. So this will be the fourth bonus stage, and in this one, they introduce a new mechanic to the special stages. So we've had these giant floating balls, and also those little red and yellowish balls that weren't the spike balls or the rings or the spheres. They're basically a bunch of bombs, and the thing about them is that they will pretty much cause Sonic to sort of do a bit of a rollout. So they'll make Sonic a bit hard to control for a few seconds, and they'll also make you lose a significant portion of your rings. So they're essentially the spike balls, but basically, if you do end up running into them, which I highly recommend that you do not, if you do run into them, they will disappear on the next rotation. So they're a bit like the rings, in that they can only be hit and sort of collected, if you will, once. Whereas the spike balls are permanent, bit like life. But here we go, we're at the max speed again, and we're closing into the next Chaos Emerald, and shouldn't be long now. There we go. We have got ourselves another Chaos Emerald. Pretty sweet. Now, gonna continue on in Studiopolis Zone. We have a little film clapper thingamabobby there. It's always fun. Music in this stage. Music in this stage is so good. I think that T. Lopes, the guy who made the music, all the music stages, all the remixes of the old stages as well as the new ones, did a really good job, and he should be applauded. Anyway, we are now into the mid-boss, and we're up against a security bot in his flying helicopter. He's going to shoot some bullets at us, and we want to pretty much avoid the red ones and hit back the blue ones. I will admit that this one... Oh, that's not good. This one was a bit difficult for me the first time because I could not understand the physics. They're a bit wonky here, so we're constantly running. But the overall idea of the stage, that you're supposed to hit the blue ones, I did not get that first time. And then he expertly dodges the bullets that I shoot back, and just lets his henchman take the hit, as any self-respecting leader would do, obviously. So yes, we're now going to the third shot. No, I definitely hit. Okay. Oh my god, I'm not having much luck avoiding the red bullets. But who needs luck when you've got skill? Which I clearly don't have, so that was worthless to me to say. And we're at the final. And that should be it. Gotta wonder why the helicopter couldn't just fly away again, but I suppose they had to end the boss somewhere. And with that, we barely crossed the finish line. With 5 rings. Yeah, I wasn't the best at that one, I will admit. But who needs to be the best when you get to Act 2 with Dr. Eggman looking at us there in the background on Egg TV, which I'm sure has the best possible news source of all of Sonic's world. Ooh, I found a sneaky little television with rings. So yes, so now we're pretty much inside the studio, and inside the studio we have a few more different gimmicks. So we have these studio lights that will fall when we land on them under our weight, which is a very good way to sort of keep you on your toes. We have another special stage. So I'm going to stop talking about the level, and we're going to move on to special stage number 5. So this one is sort of picking up the difficulty a little bit. So sort of becomes a question of whether or not you want to go for the rings that are up there by going onto the ramps, or if you want to speed up. So there are plenty of rings in between the areas where you have to jump up and avoid the blue spheres, but at the same time you sort of want to also speed up so that you have a better chance of getting the UFO. And that's just a cool little trick you can do to get the arrow one, the arrow sphere, which increases the speed for the next one. You sort of want to do that when you don't have as many blue spheres as I did, though, to sort of help you out. But you know, I will take what I can get. And we're into lap 2, and the UFO is we're slowly catching up to it. So I don't know, looking pretty good. And we're at the max speed, and I reckon that the UFO is just about as good as gotten. Just about there we go. That was so undifficult. Not difficult. Let's go with that. And we've got the 5th Chaos Emerald, and we're going to continue. Okay, so as I was saying, so this stage has all these little panels which have very cool Sega references. So that says Genesis Does, which is a reference to back in the 90s when Sega and Nintendo were bitter rivals, and essentially the ad campaign was Genesis does, that was the console that Sega had, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, which is the sort of ad campaign I don't think you really see nowadays. You don't really see Sony go, we have the games that Microsoft wishes they had. You don't really have that sort of banter between game companies anymore, which I suppose is just telling of the current times that we live in. The game companies are a bit more willing to play nice. Anyway, so we are now just hopping into the oh no. Well, we were going to pop in there, but we weren't. So what was up there before I stupidly missed the mark entirely? That was just a sort of physics. What are those? That was sort of lottery. A lotto ball where you sort of run and the machine picks out 4 balls, and depending on whether or not you get an Eggman symbol or not, you get rings. But anyway, we're at the boss, and this one is actually quite good and really keeping with the studio theme. So it's a weather broadcast on the television there, with Dr. Eggman acting as a satellite. And whatever appears on the screen is the kind of weather. So now it's going to be stormy, so we want to avoid the rain clouds. And it's windy again, which means you want to grab onto these little poles here. And you can time it very well, and you can hit there. What Tails hit there was actually spikes, so you want to avoid the spikes. And we have another thunderstorm. I'm not quite sure how the weather can be so localized to one area. And now it's 685 degrees, which is not the best, but it's a very easy way to hit Dr. Eggman there, because even his machine can't handle the heat. And all the studio lights come in to create the heat. And we do it, and it's now sort of Egg TV. We are experiencing technical difficulties. And there's a humming. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's a humming in the back. And that humming is actually a reference to the 25th anniversary live stream for Sonic the Hedgehog, where no matter what they did, they could not get rid of this drone. So they included it in the game, which I thought was clever. But anyway, we are at the flying battery. But that will have to wait for next time. Okay, so that was Studiopolis Zone, and 2 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds that we have found. Next time we will move on to Flying Battery and hopefully find the other 2 Chaos Emeralds somewhere. Thank you for watching all the way through. This one's a bit shorter than the last video, just because I think 20 minutes might be a bit much to just gush over Sonic. But anyway, if you enjoyed, please like the video. You can comment down below what your thoughts are of that stage or anything that you want to say. And if you haven't yet and you are in the mood to, you can subscribe as well. But that's me today, so bye.